Soralia was a world of soft light and gentle winds. In the sky, 3 suns hung in a line, giving warm days and cool nights. Great towers rose from pale stone. Strange plants grew along the walls. People moved in calm order. Everything had a rule in this alien world. Tom served in the royal palace. He came from a small human village on a distant star. The journey to Soralia had been long and hard. He learned the alien language. He learned the customs. He learned to stand and bow at the right time. At first he felt lost. He missed his home and his family. But he found a place in the palace. He delivered messages. He cleaned chambers. He carried trays of fruit and water. The Princess Lily lived in the tallest tower. She had skin that shone like pale moonlight. Her eyes were soft and bright. Her hair was long and silver. She wore simple robes of pale green. They matched the gentle grass of her home planet. She moved with quiet grace. She spoke in calm voices. When she smiled, Tom felt a warm glow in his chest. Each morning, Tom brought Lily her breakfast. He placed a tray of fruit at her side. He poured sweet tea into a tall cup. He watched her eyes light up at simple food. She would say thank you in her soft voice. Tom would bow low and step back. He never spoke unless she spoke first. He learned to wait for her words. Lily spent hours at her window. She looked at gardens filled with pale flowers. She watched birds with long tails glide in the sky. She watched clouds drift over the towers. Tom stood by the door as she studied the world outside. He felt that one day he might be free to look and learn like her. One afternoon, Tom found a small plant in a pot. Its leaves were bright green, even in the pale light of the tower. Lily stood near a low table, reading by a window. The sun shone on her silver hair. Tom carried the plant to her. "Your Highness," he said in the proper form. Lily looked up with a gentle smile. "Thank you, Tom," she said. Her voice was soft and kind. Tom knelt and placed the pot on the table. He felt his heart beat fast. "I found it in the palace gardens. I thought you might like it." Lily touched a leaf with care. "It is lovely," she said. They looked at each other in quiet peace. For a moment, Tom forgot rules. He forgot his duty. Days passed in a calm flow. Tom learned more of Soralia's ways. He watched the servants work in silence. He learned which bows showed respect. He learned which words were polite. Lily walked through the gardens. Tom walked by her side. The soft grass felt cool under their feet. Strange flowers made shapes like white bells. Small streams ran through pale stones. Lily pointed at a flower. A long petal curved like a bow. "What is this one called?" "She asked." Tom knelt and read the small sign. "It is called the moonbow flower," he said. Lily smiled and bent to touch it. "It is beautiful," she whispered. Tom looked at her face. He saw wonder in her eyes. He heard her soft laugh. The sound filled him with joy. At night, the 3 moons shone on the palace walls. Tom stood on the lower balcony. He looked at the bright sky. He thought of his home. He thought of his work here. He thought of Lily. Lily stepped out on the balcony above him. She wore a robe of pale blue. Her silver hair shone in the moonlight. She looked down at Tom. "The moonbow flower will bloom soon," she said quietly. Tom looked up. "It will open under the moons," he said. Lily leaned on the railing. "Would you like to see it bloom with me?" Tom felt his heart race. "I would be honored," he said. Lily smiled with joy. She stepped down a level and took Tom's hand. He felt her warmth. They moved through dim hallways. Lights glowed in pale glass sconces. Servants bowed as they passed. Tom felt the weight of his uniform. Lily walked with soft steps. Tom matched her pace. They reached the garden courtyard. A circle of moonbow flowers grew around a low fountain. Water rippled under soft lights. The 3 moons were full in the sky. Their light fell on the flowers. One by one, the buds opened. Petals curved like silver moons. A faint glow came from inside the flowers. The air smelled sweet and fresh. Lily gasped with delight. Tom watched her face in the moonlight. He felt his breath catch. He realized in that moment how much he cared for her. "They are more lovely than I imagined," Lily said softly. Tom nodded. His hands felt cold. They are like stars fallen to earth, he said. Lily looked at him in surprise. That is a very human way to say it, she laughed. Tom bowed his head. I like Earth, he said. Lily touched his shoulder. I like Earth too, she said. They stood together under the moonlight. No words were needed. They watched the flowers glow. When the ceremony bell rang, they left the garden. Servants stood in line. They bowed as Lily passed. Tom followed behind with a soft step. That night, Tom lay in his small room. The bed was narrow and hard. He stared at the pale ceiling. He thought of Lily's smile. He thought of her gentle voice. He thought of their walk in the garden. Tom sighed. He knew the rules were strict. Servants did not marry royalty. Humans were not meant to rise in rank. He thought of his small home world. He thought of his family. Still, in his heart, he felt a new hope. He felt the bud of a plan open inside. He would honor the customs of Seralia. He would find a way to ask Lily to be his wife. Tom sat up. He walked to his small desk. He opened a piece of pale parchment. He held a quill in his hand. He paused. He wrote a few lines in careful script. He studied the words. He tore the page out and crumpled it. He tried again. He wrote of moonbow flowers. He wrote of gentle smiles. He wrote of loyalty and love. When he was done, he folded the parchment with care. He placed it in a small box he found in the desk. Tom closed his eyes. He breathed deeply. He felt brave and afraid in the same moment. He whispered to the night, "Air, tomorrow I will speak from my heart." He lay down and closed his eyes. Dreams of pale towers and silver moons danced in his mind. The future felt both uncertain and bright. In the morning, a new day would dawn. And with that dawn, Tom would begin his journey to ask Lily to share his life forever. Morning light slipped through narrow windows. Tom stood by a long wooden table. Around him lay small objects. Silk cloths of green and silver, a slender box of polished wood, a tiny glass vial filled with moon water from the palace wells. He touched each piece with care. He had learned of Ceralian customs. A gift must show honor. It must reflect loyalty and respect. He chose a silk cloth in pale green. It matched the color of Princess Lily's robes. He folded it with neat edges. Then he opened the wooden box. Inside lay a small silver band carved with simple symbols. The symbols meant loyalty in Ceralian. Runes. Tom held the silver band in his hand. His heart beat fast. Could he give such a gift? Servants did not give gifts to royalty. The rules said offerings came from noble houses. But he believed his loyalty was true. He believed his gift came from his heart. He poured a drop of moon water into a small glass. The water glowed with soft light. In Ceralian culture, moon water symbolized life and purity. This gift would show his devotion. He placed the glass in the wooden box beside the band. As he worked, doubt crept in. What if the High Council banned his gift? What if Princess Lily rejected him? He pictured the grand hall, the tall columns, the council in pale robes. He pictured Lily's gentle face. Would she be embarrassed? Would she be angry? Tom took a deep breath. He reminded himself of her kindness. Every morning she smiled at him. Every afternoon she thanked him for his service. She did not see him as a mere servant. She saw him as a person. He wrapped the band and vase in the silk cloth. He placed them back in the box and closed the lid. His hands shook. "This is not for me," he whispered. "It is for her." He tied a thin silver cord around the box. It formed a neat bow. He held the box like a treasure. At midday, Tom waited in a small side chamber outside Lily's tower. The walls were pale stone. A single lantern glowed. He adjusted his uniform, straightening the fold of his collar. He checked the box one more time. He heard footsteps on the stairs. He stood straighter. The door opened. Princess Lily entered. She wore a simple robe of white with a pale green sash. Her silver hair was bound in a loose braid. She smiled when she saw Tom. "Good day, Tom," she said softly. "Good day, Your Highness," Tom replied. He bowed. Lily stepped into the room. She paused when she saw the small box in Tom's hands. "Tom, what is that?" she asked. He lifted the box slowly. "Your Highness, I have prepared a gift for you," he said. His voice was calm but firm. Lily's eyes widened. She had never seen Tom bring anything but morning tea. She lifted an eyebrow. "A gift?" She repeated. "Is it allowed for a servant to give a gift to a princess?" Tom asked. Lily looked at him with surprise. Then she smiled. "No rule stops me from accepting a gift from someone I trust," she said. Tom's single quotes' chest swelled with hope. He knelt in front of her. He held the box out gently. "Your Highness, I honor you with this gift," he said. He untied the cord and opened the lid. The moon water glowed faintly in the glass vial. The silver band caught the light. Lily reached out with delicate fingers. She touched the band and then the silk cloth. "This is beautiful," she whispered. She lifted her eyes to Tom. "I do not know what these symbols mean," she said, "but I feel the care you put into every detail." Tom stood and bowed his head. He felt tears prick his eyes. "Your Highness, I owe my life to this palace and to you. I only wish to serve and protect you always." Lily's face grew gentle. She reached out and took Tom's hand. He froze at her touch. Her skin was cool under the silk of her sleeve. "I trust you, Tom," she said. "I trust you more than anyone else in this world." Tom's heart glowed. He felt both joy and fear. He looked into Lily's eyes. He knew the moment was precious, but doubt returned. A guard might enter. A council member might overhear. He might lose her trust if the rules condemned him. He remembered the weight of palace laws. He stepped back. "However—" "Your Highness," he began. Lily squeezed his hand. "Speak your mind, Tom." Her words gave him courage. He took a breath. "Your Highness, tradition says a princess chooses a noble. A servant has no right to ask for such honor." Lily shook her head. "Tradition must serve the people, not bind them," she said. Tom's single quotes' heart soared. He wanted to say so much more, but the moment was delicate. He bowed his head again. "Yet, I fear I break the rules. I fear that a gift alone cannot show the depth of my feeling." Lily touched his chin, lifting his gaze. "Tom, look at me," she said. He obeyed. "I see your loyalty in every word. I see your courage in your eyes. Do not doubt yourself." Tom felt tears. He closed his mouth and bowed. He stood and bowed once more. "Your Highness, I will prepare my heart for tomorrow," he said. He turned and left the chamber. Lily watched him go, her smile bright. She felt hope bloom in her chest. After Tom left, Lily closed the box gently. She traced the symbols with her finger. They meant loyalty, hope, and love. She thought of Tom kneeling before her. She thought of his soft voice. She rose and walked to the window. The palace gardens spread below. Moonbow flowers swayed in light breeze. She breathed deeply. "Tom is brave," she whispered, "and I will stand by him." Elsewhere in the palace, Tom returned to his small room. He sat on the edge of his cot. The box lay on the desk. He stared at it. The gift felt heavy with meaning. He picked up the moonwater vial. He held it to the light. "Purity," he murmured. Then he took the silver band. He slid it over his thumb and let it rest on his finger. It shimmered in the lamplight. His doubt lingered. He closed his eyes. He pictured Lily's eyes. He heard her soft laugh. He felt the warmth of her hand. He made a choice. He would speak from his heart tomorrow. He would ask Lily to be his wife. He stood and walked to the wooden table. He opened a fresh sheet of parchment. This time he would write what he truly felt. His quill wrote words of hope and promise. His hand did not shake. He wrote of moonwater and silk. He wrote of courage and love. When he finished, he folded the parchment. He placed it in the box with the band and moonwater. He whispered to the night, "Tomorrow I give my heart." He lay down on his cot. His mind raced. The future felt close and heavy. He drifted to sleep with his gift by his side. In the morning, a new dawn would bring change. Tom knew that tomorrow he would face his fears and speak the truth of his feeling. The grand hall was vast and bright. Tall columns rose to a high ceiling. Pale banners hung between them. Courtiers in simple robes filed in by two lines. They wore shades of green and silver. Their faces were calm but curious. They whispered among themselves as they took their places. At the far end, the High Council sat on low thrones. Their robes were more elaborate with patterns of gold thread. Lamps glowed softly around them. The air smelled of polished stone and faint incense. Tom stood at the entrance to the hall. He felt the weight of his uniform and the nerves in his chest. In his hand he held the small wooden box. Inside were the silk cloth, the moon water, and the silver band. His heart pounded. He had never faced so many eyes before. He looked at the path leading to the council. Lily waited beside the low throne at the center. Her silver hair glowed in the light. Her pale robes shone like moonlight. As Tom walked forward, servitors bowed. He kept his gaze low. A soft echo of his boots filled the hall. Each step seemed heavy. He thought of the night and the words he wrote. He thought of Lily's kind smile. He thought of the gift and what it meant. He breathed deeply to steady himself. When he reached the dais, Tom knelt on one knee. The box sat in his hands. The courtiers fell silent. Only the low hum of candles broke the quiet. Tom lifted his head and looked at Lily. She watched him with gentle eyes. Her lips curved in a small, kind smile. Tom opened the box. He lifted the silk cloth and placed it on the polished floor. He poured a drop of moon water onto the cloth. It glowed with a soft light that spread across the floor. Tom took the silver band and held it up. "Your Highness," he began, "I honor you with this gift. I give you moon water from our wells. I give you a band of loyalty carved in runes of pure vow. But these gifts alone cannot show the depth of my devotion." A murmur ran through the crowd. The High Council shifted. Lily's eyes shone with quiet pride. Tom kept his voice steady. He found courage in her presence. "Your Highness Lily," he said softly, "from the day I came to Seralia, I promised to serve and protect you. In the gardens, I saw your kindness. In the hall, I saw your grace. In my heart, I found a love that outshines any law. Today, I break tradition to speak truth." He paused and lowered his gaze again. The hall held its breath. Tom raised his eyes to the High Council. "Council members," he said, "I ask for your judgment. But let it be guided by the will of the princes, for I ask Lily to be my wife." A sharp gasp rose in the hall. Guards stepped forward at once. Two stood on either side of Tom. Their armor was pale and smooth. They held spears tipped with silver. Tom felt their weight in his mind. He stayed kneeling. Lily rose from her seat. She walked forward on bare feet. Her robe swayed around her. She reached Tom and placed a hand on his shoulder. "Tom," she said gently, "I accept your gift. I accept your vow. I accept you." Her voice carried across the hall. The glow of moon water spread brighter. A hush fell. Lily lifted the silver band from the cloth. She held it above her head as she looked at Tom. "Will you join your life with mine?" Tom asked, his eyes fixed on her. Lily nodded. Her smile was wide. Tears shone in her eyes. "Yes," she said. "Yes, I will be your wife." At her words, the glow of moon water pulsed once. Then it faded to a soft light again. The silk cloth shimmered on the floor. The silver band looked bright in Tom's hand. Guards remained at Tom's side. One guard spoke in a low voice to another. The council members leaned forward. They whispered among themselves. The courtiers looked from Tom to Lily. Whispers grew into quiet talk. Tom rose to his feet. His uniform felt stiff, but he stood tall. Lily took his hand. They looked at each other. The world seemed still. Then the head of the High Council stood. He wore a robe of dark silver with gold patterns. His hair was white and thin. His voice echoed in the hall. "Human servant," he said, "you have broken tradition. You have seized a place reserved for nobility, yet you have done so with honesty and devotion. Princess Lily stands by your side. For this we must consider change." A new murmur rose. The council spoke quietly. The courtiers watched in silence. After a moment, the head council spoke again. "The laws of Seralia exist to serve the people. If the people and the princes seek a new path, we must allow it. Let this day mark a new dawn for our kingdom." "Your vow is binding, Servant Tom." Lily's smile grew. Tom's chest swelled. He bowed to the council. Then he turned to Lily and bowed deeply to her. Your Grace, he said softly. Lily lifted his chin. Tom, she said, today we write our own story. They walked down the center of the hall, hand in hand. Guards fell back to either side. Courtiers bowed low. Servitors lined the walls and clapped softly. The head council lifted a hand. This ceremony marks the union of human and cerealian, he proclaimed. Let all who gather witness this truth. A soft chime rang from the balcony above. Lily looked up. Her mother, Queen Selena, stood with her guard. The queen nodded with approval. She raised her scepter and let it glow. Light spread across the hall. Flowers bloomed in vases along the walls. Pale petals unfurled in the soft glow. A gentle breeze from the open windows stirred banners above. Tom and Lily stopped before the council. She placed the silver band on his finger. He placed a simple ring of glass filled with moon water on her finger. By our vows, they said together, winds of Cerealia carry our promise. The chime rang again. Servants brought trays of sweet cakes and pale fruits. They placed them on low tables. People began to smile and speak softly. The hall felt warm and alive. Tom kissed Lily's hand. This day will live in my heart forever, he whispered. Lily leaned close. Tom, you are my servant, my friend, my love. Now you are also my husband. They turned to the crowd. Together they raised their hands. Courtiers cheered softly. Guards lowered their spears. Candles flickered in celebration. As they left the grand hall, the three suns shone low in the sky. Outside, the world felt changed and new. Tom and Lily stepped into the bright light. They walked side by side toward the gardens, where moonbow flowers awaited their next promise. The High Council met in a grand chamber behind the palace walls. Pale columns surrounded a round table of polished stone. Soft glow from lanterns lit the room. Council members in robes of silver and gold took their seats. At the head sat the oldest member, Councillor Vereen. His hair was white as the moon. His face was lined with years of care and judgment. Tom stood before the table. His uniform was neat but simple. He held his head high and kept his hands calm at his sides. Behind him stood Lily, her robe pale green. She held Tom's hand with quiet strength. They entered and bowed deeply to the council. Councillor Vereen, Tom said, his voice steady. Thank you for calling this meeting. I stand before you because I love Princess Lily and wish to honor her with my life. Vereen spoke in a calm voice. Tom, you have shown loyalty and courage. You have asked our princess to be your wife. You know this breaks long-held tradition. Today we must weigh heart and law. Another counselor, Melis, spoke next. Her robes had threads of pale blue. She looked at Tom with sharp eyes. Tom, a servant has no claim to royalty? Our laws protect the princes and the crown. If we allow a servant to rise, we change the order of all things. Tom nodded respectfully. I understand your duty to the crown. I know families will speak if I become noble. I know rivals may use my birth against me, but I love Lily. I will protect her and our kingdom with my life. Councillor Devon leaned forward. He had a kind face. He spoke softly. Lily stands by you with clear mind and full heart. Her choice carries weight. Our people will follow her lead. Yet we have a duty to guide them. Lily stepped forward. Her eyes shone. Counselors, I speak as princess and as daughter of Queen Selene. Tom has served me with honor. He has learned our language and customs. He knows our laws and respects them. He brings new strength and kindness to our court. Vereen watched Lily with thoughtful eyes. Princess Lily, your words are true. You have the power of choice. Yet you ask for change? In a world governed by law, how do you propose we move forward without chaos? Lily looked at Tom. Then she faced the council. High Council, I ask that Tom be granted noble status. Let him hold a small title under the crown. Let him join me in service to Cerealia. Tradition must adapt so that loyalty and love guide our laws. A murmur rose. Among the council, they spoke softly among themselves. Servitors brought in fresh water and moved quietly. The air was tense. Councillor Melis stood. Princess, emotion fades with time. Laws remain. What if your heart changes? What then of Tom and our kingdom? Lily's face was calm. My heart did not change when I saw Tom risk his life for me. It did not change when he spoke words of promise under the moons. I stand by him now. Devon spoke again. The people look to us for guidance. Let us not weaken our rule. Let us find a path that honors both love and law. Vereen rose and held a hand for silence. Counselors, the heart of Seralia is in her people and their bonds. Tom has shown his bond to our princess? We cannot deny their truth, yet we must protect our realm from rash change. He paused and looked at Tom and Lily. We will defer our final verdict. Let the people see Tom as a noble in small trials. Let him serve in a public role beside the princes. After one moon cycle, we will reconvene with new insight. Tom and Lily exchanged a quick glance. Relief mixed with hope on their faces. High Council, Tom said. I accept your terms with respect. I will serve and prove my worth. Lily smiled and bowed to the council. High Council, thank you for this chance. I will walk with Tom in service to our people. Vereen nodded. So let it be. The moon cycle begins now. Go in peace and honor the crown. The doors to the chamber opened. Servitors stood aside. Tom and Lily stepped out into a bright corridor. The glow of lanterns lit their path. Each step echoed softly on the marble floor. Lily squeezed Tom's hand. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you, Tom replied. His heart felt light. They walked through empty halls toward the balcony. Dawn light streamed in through tall windows. Outside, the palace gardens glowed with pale flowers. Moonbow blossoms opened in early light. A small group of guards turned. At the sound of their steps, they bowed politely as Tom passed. Guard her well, Lily told them softly. Yes, Your Highness. The lead guard replied. Tom watched Lily's face. She stood calm and strong. He felt pride and joy. Lily turned to Tom. Come, let us walk in the gardens. They walked down stairs of pale stone. Servants carried trays of fruit and water to waiting tables. Courtiers strolled in small groups. Lily and Tom reached a garden courtyard. Marble benches lined a path. Pale flowers grew in neat rows. A small fountain bubbled in the center. Lily sat on a bench. Tom knelt before her. Tom, she said, we face a trial, but we face it together. He offered her his hand, always, he said. She took his hand and stood. They walked along the path. Pale petals brushed their robes. I will serve the people, Tom said. I will learn every law. I will speak for those who cannot. I will earn my place in Seralia. Lily smiled at his promise. And I will stand by your side, she said. They paused by a bloom of moonbow flowers. The petals curved like moons. Tom picked a single bloom. For the council, he said, and gave it to Lily. For love, she whispered, and placed it in his hair. They laughed softly. Guards and servants passed without notice. The world felt calm when the sun rose above. The palace walls, Tom knew his journey had changed. He was no longer just a servant. He was a husband-to-be and a noble in trial. The path ahead would be hard. Some would still judge him. Some would still whisper. But he knew his heart was true. He saw the light in Lily's eyes, and so they walked on under pale towers, hand in hand, ready to face the days to come. Weeks passed since Tom and Lily left the grand hall. Each day brought new challenges. Tom learned the duties of a noble in trial. He studied laws in the council library. He spoke with officials in quiet chambers. He walked the palace halls with new purpose. Lily remained by his side. She led him through crowded corridors and secret passageways. She introduced him to artisans and scholars. She showed him how to wear new robes and greet guests. Tom watched her move with calm confidence. They shared private moments in the gardens. A small bench near the fountain became their meeting place. Pale petals drifted on water. The three suns shone with gentle light. One afternoon, Tom found Lily sitting beneath a moonbow tree. Her face was bright. She held a cup of tea. She looked at him with soft eyes. Tom, she said, thank you for walking with me every step of the way. Tom knelt beside her. He took her hand. I am honored to serve you, he said. Lily smiled and touched his cheek. Even with the Trial ahead, I feel hope. He pressed her hand to his chest. That hope comes from you. They sat in gentle silence. A breeze stirred jasmine-scented vines. Tom watched Lily's hair shine in sunlight, but court life was not always calm. Rumors spread in the corridors. Some nobles whispered that Tom would fail the trial. They said a servant could never understand royal duty. One morning, Lady Verena entered Lily's chambers. Verena was a noblewoman of powerful house. Her robes were rich purple with silver embroidery. She wore pearls in her hair. Your Highness, Verena said with a bow. Lily rose and offered a seat. What brings you here, Lady Verena? She asked. Verena sat across from Lily. She watched Tom enter with fresh papers. Lady Lily, Verena began, I admire your courage. It is not easy to challenge tradition. Lily nodded. But I worry for you, Verena said softly. She paused and looked at Tom. Tom is a fine servant, yet a servant holds no claim to a princess. You deserve a noble of your own rank, someone who knows our ways from birth. Lily looked steady. Tom has learned our ways. He respects our laws. He loves me truly. Verena's eyes narrowed, yet emotions can fade. I speak for many who fear this match will bring harm to you and the crown. Tom closed the door and joined them. He bowed. Your Grace, Your Highness, he said. Lily stood and faced Verena. Lady Verena, I choose Tom. His heart is loyal. He will stand with me in service to Seralia. If our love brings change, it is change we need. Verena rose, her robes rustling. You are wise, princes. I only wish to protect you. She turned and left. Lily watched her go. Thank you, Tom said. Lily placed a hand on his arm. Double quotes Tom. Your honor shines brighter than any title. He smiled and bowed. I will not fail you. In the days that followed, Tom spoke at council meetings. He spoke of unity between humans and Seralians. He spoke of hope and shared future. Some counselors nodded. Others looked away. Lily attended every meeting. She sat beside Tom in quiet support. She offered a gentle touch when he sat. They walked in the gardens before dawn. Pale light touched palace walls. They spoke of simple things, the scent of jasmine, the taste of fresh fruit, the feel of soft robes. Tom, Lily said one morning, before our trial, I want you to know I believe in you. Tom kissed her hand. With you, I have strength. As the trial day neared, the palace filled with visitors. Envoys from distant worlds came to see the first human noble. They brought gifts of strange stones and woven cloths. Tom greeted each with calm respect. Lily stood by his side, her eyes proud. She wore a simple dress of pale green. Her hair was bound in a crown braid. She glowed with quiet joy. On the eve of the trial, Tom and Lily walked through the moonbow. Forest outside the palace, soft petals drifted around them. The air smelled of night blossoms. Lily stopped beside a silver stream. She picked a white flower. This trial is more than law, she said. It is about trust. Tom took the flower, then let our bond show them. They stood hand in hand as the moons rose. The world felt calm under pale stars. When the council summoned them, they were ready. Their hearts were joined. They would face the final verdict together. The day of the final trial dawned clear and bright. Seralia's 3 sons rose in silent grace. Their light filled the palace courtyards. The moons had set hours before. The palace buzzed with life. Banners of pale green and silver hung over gates. Servants moved swiftly, setting tables and lighting lamps. Tom and Lily prepared in separate chambers. In Tom's room, he put on a new uniform. It was more ornate than his servant's attire. Silver threads wove along the sleeves. A simple crest of moonbow flowers rested on his chest. He checked his reflection in a polished mirror. His heart pounded with nerves and hope. It is for you, he whispered, touching the crest. Lily, dressed in a gown of pale green silk. Her hair fell in soft waves. A thin silver circlet rested on her brow. She looked in her mirror and saw calm strength. In her eyes, she held a small bouquet of moonbow flowers. This day we stand together, she said to her reflection. In the grand hall, seats filled quickly. Nobles and envoys found places along the sides. Guards formed lines beside tall columns. The high council gathered at their thrones, their robes bright with gold and silver. Servitors placed fresh water and pale fruits on low tables. At the center, a raised platform stood empty until Tom and Lily arrived. Courtiers and visitors watched in. Silence. A hush fell as the doors opened. Tom entered first. He walked with steady steps. Each footfall echoed softly. He saw faces of curious humans, elegant Cerealians, and proud envoys from distant worlds. Behind him, Lily entered. She smiled at the crowd. Her gaze met Tom's. He felt warmth and courage. They came to the platform and stood before the council. Vareen raised a hand. "Citizens of Cerealia," he said, "today we decide if our world can grow by honoring true bonds. Tom, you have served as a noble in trial. You have learned our laws. You have spoken for unity. Princess Lily has stood by your side. Now we hear final words." Vareen turned to Tom. "Present your case, noble Tom." Tom bowed deeply. "Your High Council," he began, "I stand before you humbled and grateful. I came to Cerealia as a servant. I came with no title and no heritage here. Yet through loyalty and work, the princess saw me as a person. She saw my heart." He paused and met Lily's eyes. She nodded. "We walked the halls of the palace together. We spoke with scholars and artisans. We learned laws and customs. In every action I sought to serve Cerealia and its people. I spoke for unity, not just for two hearts, but for two worlds. Humans and Cerealians both offer wisdom and wonder." Tom held the silver band. He lifted it. "With this band I make a vow. I promise to honor the crown and its people. I promise to serve the princess, my wife, with loyalty and love. I promise to protect every heart in our realm as I protect hers." He knelt and offered the band to Lily. She took it with gentle hands. "We ask you, counselors, to bless our union and to welcome our bond as a guide for future generations." He rose. A soft light glowed from the moons painted on the band. Vareen nodded and faced the princess. "Princess Lily, share your final words." Lily stepped forward. She held the bouquet. "Your High Council," she said. "When I first met Tom, I saw only a servant, but I also saw a kind heart and a brave spirit. He knew no law could define who he would protect, and no rank could measure his loyalty." She picked a single moonbow flower and held it aloft. "This flower grows in moonlight, yet it opens in sun too. It lives between worlds, so too do we. Tom and I stand between two worlds, human and Cerealian. We choose to bind them with understanding. We choose love as our guide." She placed the flower at the foot of the platform. "Tom and I do not ask for change for ourselves alone. We ask for change that lets all hearts grow freely. Let our bond be the first seed." She returned to Tom and took his hand. They stood together, united. Vareen raised his hand for silence. "Counselors," he said, "you have heard their words. You have seen their deeds. Our world stands at a crossroads. Our choice will shape the ages." Melis stood. "We break tradition today. We open our laws to two hearts. May we be worthy of their trust." Devon nodded. "Let their courage show us the way." One by one, counselors rose and spoke. Each voice was calm and clear. They spoke of law and love, of duty and hope. At last, Vareen spoke again. "This council, by our power and our oath, grants Tom full noble status. We recognize him as Lord of the Moonbow Court. We recognize Lily as Queen by his side. We hereby bind their vow as law." At his words, the counselors touched their scepters to the platform. A soft chime rang through the hall. Light from the scepters formed a circle around Tom and Lily. Guards raised their spears in salute. Courtiers erupted in quiet cheers. A breeze stirred the banners above. Tom and Lily bowed to the council. Then they turned to the crowd. Together, they raised hands in greeting. In the back of the hall, Queen Selene sat with the crowd. She rose and held her scepter high. A gentle glow spread from her. The light filled every corner of the hall. "Come forth," she said. "Let us celebrate the union of two hearts and two worlds." Servants brought in trays of sweet cakes and pale fruits. Tables were set on the floor of the hall. Guests moved forward, offering congratulations and gifts. Envoys placed silk banners and carved stones at Tom and Lily's feet. Lily smiled at Tom. "This is our new world," she whispered. "It begins today." Tom kissed her hand. "With you, I have found home." They stepped forward into the crowd. They walked slowly among guests, bowing and smiling. Every face was kind and bright. As the day wore on, the three suns moved across the sky. Servants led Tom and Lily to a balcony high above the gardens. The air was warm. A soft breeze carried the scent of jasmine and moonbow flowers. Lily looked at Tom. "Will you join me outside?" she asked. "I will always join you." They stepped onto the balcony. Below, the garden spread like a sea of pale green and white. Moonbow flowers opened to the sun. Streams glittered like silver ribbons. Tom took Lily's hand. "We have a life ahead of us, full of duty and challenge," he said. "And full of love?" she added. They watched as the suns dipped low. Their light grew golden. The moons rose again, pale and bright. In the quiet of the balcony, Tom and Lily stood close. They shared a warmth that no law could bind, and under Ceralia's three suns and twin moons, two hearts became one. Their journey had begun, and their bond would guide a world into a new age.